Hi everybody, welcome to the Hordon Homestead. Apologies for the voiceover at the beginning of the film, but you will see that I forgot actually to turn the microphone on at the beginning, so never mind. You'll see we've got two large courgettes, zucchini, and some small ones, and these were given to us by a wonderful neighbour. But what do you do with when you've got a huge one like this? It's absolutely massive. So what we're going to do is we're going to do stuffed marrow, and we're going to talk you through how to make stuffed marrow, which is one of our favourites at this time of year when the nights are drawing in and it's getting cooler. So we're going to do a bolognese sauce to go with it, and the bolognese sauce starts off in the wok with the ground mince, and the mince that we're using is lamb, 250 grams, but you can also use beef or turkey or pork and beef, pork. You could even use fish, or you could use your vegetarian and vegan minces as well. They all work beautifully and taste absolutely delicious. So follow us as we go through. Jeff has just added it to the wok and a little bit of oil, and he's now browning it off.
Me a little bit better now because I've just remembered to switch the microphone on because I'm stupid. So if you didn't hear what I just said was this is lamb mince. You could also use beef mince, pork and beef mince, turkey mince, or your favourite vegan mince. So whatever mince you like, just put it in. That's 250 grams of that, and just put it in, brown it off, and then into there goes your chopped leeks and or chopped onion and chopped mushrooms. Just to taste, we've got about 100 grams of mushrooms, one chopped leek and one chopped onion. And they're all in about inch pieces, and they'll all start to brown off quite quickly. Quite a lot of juice comes out of the mushrooms, so don't be alarmed if you get a lot of juice starting to appear in the bottom. It's not from your meat or your onions, it's actually from the mushrooms, because they soak it up really quite well. As you can see, this all happens quite quickly. The next ingredients are grated carrot and grated parsnip. Our son's autistic and he won't eat carrot and parsnip, so what he doesn't know won't hurt him, and in it goes. And it then becomes kind of like a stir fry as it all gets mushed in. But the thing is that it adds so much flavour. If you do a bolognese style sauce, it adds so much goodness and flavour that it's really worthwhile. Now, our favourite, because we eat lamb, our favourite seasoning is rosemary. So everything we eat, basically, every meat dish we have has rosemary in it. This next one is smoked paprika or sweet paprika, and again, it adds just a And then this is garlic granules. Neither of us are massive fans of a lot of garlic, so it's not worth us either growing or buying cloves of garlic because we'll never use it. So we use garlic granules, and it just adds that little bit of umami, I think the flavour is, that people waffle on about. And it's beautiful.
Not well off now. Not well off now.
I'll knock it off now. I think it says I've got to knock it off now. So as you can see now, it's browned up quite a lot, and the volume of it has reduced. It smells amazing, and the next thing we need to do is the meat is all browned off now as well. Next thing we're going to do is add some mushroom bolognese sauce, or in our families we call it mushy sauce, and we just put the whole jar in. And a little bit of water, probably about a third of a jar of water, just to clear the sides off and make sure we get all the tomatoey goodness out of it, like that. and that just starts to sizzle, and Jeff will stir that in, and you can see that it all starts to go pretty good. And then
The secret ingredient.
we actually have a secret ingredient, because as we said, we need to put protein and fibre and everything into our food. So the secret ingredient is a tin of beans, and the whole thing goes in just like that, and then that gets stirred in as well, and we've got a pretty good sauce going now. And we use this same base bolognese style sauce for pasta, for shepherd's pie, and it is shepherd's pie because it's lamb. I don't know if everybody else knows that actually. Shepherd's pie is when you use lamb mince, and cottage pie is when you use beef mince or any other type of mince. So because lamb and shepherds and all that. So that will now simmer down probably for about another 10-20 minutes, something like that, and we'll come back when it's done and then show you what we do next. So the next thing we need to do is to prepare the marrow, and it's got a natural thing in the back, here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut through that like that. We'll keep that and use it, and then the other next thing we're going to do, where I can find its secure bit, is chop it in half lengthways. There are other ways of doing this, but you'll see why we're doing it this way later on in the video. This is just our method, and it has gone to seed, and you can see the seeds here. So what we need then is a soup spoon or a dessert spoon, and you just use the edge of the spoon like this and scoop out the seeds like that, and just keep on scooping until you get no more. That's it. And at this end we can leave it like that to be a bit of a boat. There we go. Oops. That's one. Jeff's just stirring the bolognese style sauce as we do it, and then that's lovely. Just come to the other end there, like that. So the other thing we're going to do is just use our little quick peeler to peel the outside skin off. Just a thin peel, it's not very thick. And Jeff's hands are bigger than mine, and the innards of a courgette is actually quite slidey. So he's doing that, but we've trimmed the end off here as well. Jeff just shows the camera. We've trimmed this end off, and that was just to make it easier to peel. So that's one of them. They are quite slidey. So he just cuts the end off like that, and that just makes it easier to peel. I'll just give the other bit a stir, and it's just, we'll bring the camera back over in a minute so you can see, but it's just looking delicious now. There we are. So let's go back to see what Jeff's up to. Oh, he's done grand job of that, making the boats for the bolognese. Perfect. So the little bit that we cut off the end, we're just going to peel it, and then we're going to put it in the bolognese style sauce that we're making, because hiding the green,
It's all good vegetable.
It's all good vegetable, and lots of vegetable is always a good thing. And if it has to be hidden, well, that's also a good thing. So there we are. And this actually has the consistency of like cantaloupe melon. There's no seeds at this end. And so we're just going to slice and dice. And that will all just mush into the sauce that we have there. And it'll be lovely. Oops, going everywhere. So we'll just add that into the bolognese style sauce, and then we'll just stir that in like that. And Jeff can do that because it's actually quite heavy now. And they'll all just soak up the flavour of the bolognese and just be a little crunchy bit or a little mushy bit that we come across. It'll be lovely. And that'll then just boil down for about another 15 minutes. Superb. So here we are. It's been 20 minutes now. And don't forget, this isn't the end of its cooking. It's actually going to get another 45 minutes in the oven, stuffed inside the marrow boats that we've got. So if I just angle the camera a bit differently, then we'll be able to see. So then what we're going to do is we are going to put the bolognese style sauce into the marrow boats. And we're going to overfill them because the marrow will mush down in the oven. And we're also leaving a portion for our son, because he's going to have his bolognese style sauce with pasta. So perfect. There we are. So that can go in the oven now. That can go in the oven now for 45 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade. So that just goes in at 200 for 45 minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a cheesy breadcrumby crust for the top. This is some homemade bread that we did earlier in the week. It's gone a little bit stale, so we're now cutting it into, dicing it into sort of 1 inch or 2.5 centimetre cubes. And then once we've done that, we're going to turn it into breadcrumbs. And the easiest way to turn anything into breadcrumbs is actually to rouge it in the liquidizer or food blender. So we've made some breadcrumbs out of some stale bread. And this is for a crust of cheese and breadcrumbs that we're going to put on top of the marrow boats. So just going to grate some cheese. You can do it this way. You can buy frozen breadcrumb, grated cheese, or you can do it in the blender, whichever is your preferred method. It doesn't matter. Just if you do it this way, don't try and slice your knuckles off because it hurts. And it makes it look so easy. And the last bit went in his mouth, just in case you wondered. Obviously, chef's privilege or something. That just gets scooped into there, mixed up, and then we will put it on top of the marrow boats. So the marrow boats have now had about an hour. It needed a little bit longer in the oven, and we've mixed up the breadcrumbs and the cheese, and you literally just sprinkle, or in Northumberland we say hoy, so you hoy it on top like that, and then once it's gone on top like that, I made a nice big thick crust and just ram as much on as you can get, which is just really good at this. I'm just trying to use all of it up. Perfect, because I'll somewhere eat it, so we're just going to bung it all on top like that, and then he's going to bung it back in the oven without the foil on top like this for about 15 minutes.